a nice parachute payment, but I wouldn't want us to go down. I mean, we are in a far, far better situation than we are, now than we were then. We've got a good manager. Okay, when the team clicks like it did yesterday, we'll play some absolutely beautiful stuff. Yeah. I mean, Barkley is a cracking player. I mean, I don't want to see him go. I know he's an Evertonian. I mean, we had to get, Rooney went when he was a young lad. All right, he's gone on and done great things for Manchester United. Personally, I'd still love the guy back, just to finish his career with us and say goodbye to the Evertonians. He came on in the friendly for Duncan Ferguson the other week, and he got a great reception.
Yeah, it was lovely.
He wasn't sure what to expect, was he, Andrew? He talked about that.
Well, I was just saying about these people who you don't remember Ian Peter Johnson. I mean, I even remember when what he did. He changed running out to Z cars. He changed it to Bad Moon Rising. Now, I get chills listening to that song for the worst all those kind of reasons. It's a good song, but it brings back such bad memories for me. And I just want to know if these people remember those things that happened to Peter Johnson.
Listen, Andy,
because I do.
We're going to get some more Everton fans on as well, but thanks very much for getting in touch with us. Paul is also an Evertonian. Paul, what did you make of our last caller who said, that these aren't dark days for Everton, it's just that everything's having to be run in a sensible manner, and actually it's better the devil you know. What do you think?
Well, there's certainly not dark days, no. I think there's two things. I think the idea that we have to sell to survive is entirely wrong. If we'd been having this discussion 5 years ago, you probably would have had a good point. But certainly now, that's not the case. So that's probably more to do with the fact that we're generating broadcasting revenues than any sort of enormous achievement by the board. But Ian, I think you're entirely wrong to suggest that Everton have to sell Stones in order to
No, and I think you've got that wrong there, Paul. I didn't say you have to sell him, but I said they will sell him, and I think they will sell. They'll sell all of them. Whether they have to survive.
How can you say that when the club has come out publicly and said he's not for sale?
So that's on the basis of that, it won't be sold. The clubs there are gonna. They're going to try and get as much money as they can for him. If they're saying, he is...
But they don't need to. Look, and I'll tell you the reason why they don't need to. First of all, there's no financial requirement to do so. And secondly, you don't sell your best assets in a business if you want to grow your business. And the best assets that Everton have is the football team. So if we don't need to sell Stones financially and we want to develop the business, why do we want to sell Stones?
So Stones is an asset. So how long are you going to... Is Stones going to finish his career at Everton? The asset, how are you going to cash in on that asset?
Well, I think that depends on what happens to the club. And my second point was really looking forward. But you didn't answer my question about the asset. Just one second, Ian. The reason why Everton's in the position that it's in is that for the last 15, 16 years, we've been starved of capital. And the business, Everton as a business needs capital. That's the point. And if somebody was to come in and invest in the club, then all of that would change, and the team that we have could then move forward.
Do they need capital now? Do they need capital now?
They need capital to do.
So how are they going to get it if they don't sell the players?
Well, let me tell you, there's three ways that they can do it. The current investors, i.e. the board, who own 70% of the company, they can invest. They can invite new investors in, or they can sell the club. That's the three choices that any business faces.
So do you think they'll be able to do that quicker than selling a player and then replacing him with a player that can then go on?
But you're suggesting that there's an immediacy to this, and there isn't.
It's got nothing to do with immediacy. The fact is that at some stage, John Stones will go. Ross Barkley will go. Whatever you say about how Everton are doing financially and running themselves brilliant, that's fine. But the fact is those players will go.
Whoa. I didn't say that we're running ourselves brilliantly. What I said was that there's no requirement to sell. There needs to be change at Everton, and there needs to be capital brought into the business. But that doesn't mean that we need to sell our best players in order to achieve that.
How then will you get the capital in the business? You're saying that the investment... Who's going to come in and get... Who's going to come in?
I've just explained to you.
But Paul,
isn't that what Bill Kenwright's been trying to do for years, getting people to get capital into that club?
Okay, can I answer that point then? Ian, if you wanted to sell your house, and you put your house up for sale and it's in a nice road and everything else, and it hasn't sold for 3 years, what does that suggest to you?
There's something wrong with the house. It's not in a good sale state.
Or
it's overpriced.
Yeah, or that it's overpriced, yeah. So if dear old Bill, and I've got nothing against Bill personally, if dear old Bill has been trying to sell the club for 16 years...
Has he been overpriced for 16 years?
Hasn't been able to do so. Perhaps it's the price.
Yeah, but then surely then you negotiate. You negotiate, wouldn't you? If somebody wants it that bad, they'll negotiate to get the right price.
Is there not
surely,
also...
no, but Kels, one second.
No, sorry.
The fact with Bill Kenwright, who's trying to get the right person for your club, Paul, is that he will sell it to the right person if he gets the right money because he wants it to go to the right person. It's not going to be for 16 years going to overprice the club that he's trying to sell.
I wonder, because they have had, or they have been rumoured to have, certainly been spoken about in the financial pages, that Everton have had people who are interested in investing in the club. And Bill Kenwright, you know, look, I haven't read up on this massively today, but I did read about it at the time. But the sort of suggestion was, Paul, that Bill Kenwright didn't want to sell to people who did come in and did have a lot of money because he didn't feel they were the right people for the club, and it was more a not personality type thing, but a profile.
Fine. I think an awful lot of Evertonians, myself included, would agree that we're better off with Bill Kenwright than we are with a bad owner.
We did have someone on saying, you know, exactly that, sort of better the devil you know. We know we're all right with him.
I'm not saying better the devil you know, because I wouldn't necessarily put him down as a devil. What I'm saying is that in order to move forward, we don't have to sell players, but we do have to get capital, and we can only get capital from one of three places: either the existing owners, new investors coming in, or they sell the club.
Right, we got that. Nice one. Cheers.
All right, thanks, Paul. Cheers. Let's speak to David, who's a Newcastle United, talking about clubs and how they're run.